Good morning and welcome to another video. We're up nice and early this morning. Been here, we're in Dartmoor National Park. We're at Kenneck Reservoir, out with Paul Snell. Say hi, Paul.
Hello, hello.
Fellow photographer and friend, and we're here to get some, well, we were here to get a nice sunrise image of this little jetty with the boats here. And it's moved since the last time I came here, because the last time I came here it was pointed out that way, and now it's pointed more to the left, so it's not going to make the same sort of image as I got before. I'll pop the image up on the screen that I got here before. So yeah, so we were here for the sunrise, so we're here nice and early. We've been here since, what time did we get here? 4?
About 4, yeah.
Yeah, about 4ish. Yeah. Sunrise is at 6:02 I think, and it's now 5:35, so we're into blue hour. But as you can probably see, conditions are not great. So we'll make the most of it though. We're going to head over to the other side of the reservoir in a minute. We're going to try and get this shot if we can get a sunrise shot. If not, we're just going to go over to the other side. So yeah, I'm going to set up for a shot here, and I'll be back with you in a sec. Okay, I've just spoken to a gentleman who's just arrived to do a bit of fishing, and he's told me that the jetty does move with the rise of the reservoir. As it goes up, it has to move around. So that makes sense as to why it's not in the same place as it was last time. And yeah, I'm going to get a shot here quickly. I'll come round to the side. So I've got, let me show you my setup here. So I've got the boats in the centre of the frame. I've got a little bit of foreground interest here and the trees in the background. I don't have my wide lens, so otherwise I would have a completely different shot. So this is at 28mm and ISO. I'm on ISO 400 at the moment, because if you look here, if I zoom into the boats here, you can see how they're moving. So as you can, if you look, they're moving ever so slightly. Obviously it's quite a windy day and a windy morning, so they're moving ever so slightly. So just to freeze that, what I'm doing is I'm taking a higher ISO, just so I can bump up my shutter speed a little bit to freeze the boats to stop them blurring in the shot. And then what I'll probably do, I may do a stack with the trees in the background. I don't know yet. I'll see how I feel about it when I zoom in and have a look, see whether it looks clear or not. But yeah, so my shutter speed at the moment is, well, it's at 1/8 of a second, but that's not going to be my shutter speed that I finish on. I'm going to just play around with that until I can get the right settings. So I'm on f8 because I want a good depth of field in that image, and I'm on a, give me a second and I will tell you. I'm on a ISO 1000, 1/60th of a second, and I'll take that image and pop it up on the screen. Right, I've got a little bit of a dilemma here. So I've got my, let me show you my composition here. I've got my image set up. Now, I'm just trying to incorporate this bridge. Trying to stop taking photos with a touch shutter on. I'm just trying to incorporate this bridge. I've got my life buoy, whatever it's called. Is it a life buoy? Yeah, it's a life buoy. Life buoy on the right hand third of the image, and I've got the walkway coming off the left third. These trees in the top balancing out with these trees on the right, so it kind of balances it out. The only thing is I've got right smack bang in the center of my image there a post, so I can't move physically. I can move over to the left just to let me just show you quickly. So I can move over this way just to separate it from the boat, so it's got some separation there, which is fine. I can do that, but it's in the image. Do I Photoshop this out, or do I leave it in there? Does it affect the image, or does it add to it? Yeah, I don't know, so I'm not sure about that one. I will pop it up on the screen. The settings for this shot, we're going to be looking at on ISO 5000, quite high, f8, 1/20th of a second. Now the reason I'm on ISO 5000 is because it is so muggy, it's very horrible. I'm quite confident I can bring that down in post. I find that denoise works well in landscapes, but I find it's not the greatest in for people faces and stuff like that. If you use a quite aggressive denoise, any faces, they get distorted quite well, but landscapes, they're pretty good, so I'm quite confident that's going to be okay. So a 24mm focal length, and I'll pop the image up on the screen. I'll pop it up on the screen with and without the post. Just have to remember to do that in post. Not much luck for sunrise, but would you know it, we come to Burrator reservoir just to try and see, because I thought, wow, get some long exposure of the water and get some nice images because there's no light in the sky. And look what we got some beautiful sun coming through. So the odds in that, never mind, it's never what you expect when you go out, is it? So we're going to head down to the bottom of this path. The bluebells are just starting to come out here. You can just see them. This is I've done a video up here of bluebell fields. I'll pop it up on the screen if I remember. So we're just going to head down the bottom, and down the bottom here leads to a stream, and hopefully could get a long exposure there. If not, right over the other side of this reservoir, there's a outlet that spews out loads of water, and it comes down this nice rockfall. I'll get a long exposure there. So that's how I'm going to finish this video, rather than the reservoir shot that I actually wanted. But it's one of those things, you come out, you know, you try and get the shot. If you don't get it, you come out again, you try and get it. If you don't get it, you try it again. It's just how it goes. Joys of a landscape photographer, I guess. Yeah, so we're gonna head down there now and get that long exposure shot. at the final, well, second from final, because I'm going to go back and take that waterfall, but at the final, second from final place that we're going to be taking photos today. It's absolutely beautiful, but very busy, very twig orientated. There's a lot of mess going on. I'm just trying to find a composition. So up here looks very nice, but it's just not, it doesn't really do anything for me. Got a nice little fall here, but up there it gets a bit, there's corrugated iron up there, and it just doesn't, it looks a bit messy. So I'm just looking around, and I'm thinking down here might be okay. It's just getting down here, because what I liked was that fall there. I don't know if that's how well that's coming out on camera. There's a nice little fall in there, and yeah, it's just getting down level with it, or lower to it, to shoot up on it, and that's what I'm just looking to see whether I can get to now. So that's it there. It's not bad, but I'm going to get my bag down here as well. That's the problem. So yeah, it's nice area to come and take photos, but hard to get the photos, I would have said. Yeah. Just enjoy that view. Maybe if I come here on this rock, maybe I could shoot up through there. Tiny little square crop maybe in there. So let's give that a go. See what it's going to look like. I've had a look. That, through the camera, doesn't look as good as I thought it would. This, on the other hand, looks a little bit better. It looks a little bit more interesting. Still not going to be the greatest shot ever, but it will have to do for what I wanted. So plans change. You come out on a photo shoot, you know, the weather has other ideas, even though, you know, it's turning out quite nice now. But my original shoot idea had just gone. But yeah, plans change and you adapt. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take this photo, and then we are going to go to the next and the final location for this long exposure shot. And I'm just going to prop you there, and hopefully you don't fall over like this guy did down here. There we go. So yeah, see you in a sec. So you've got the waterfall coming down diagonal, the 3 different channels coming through, a lot of this rock at the top, some of this rock on the bottom, and this little bit in the foreground, just to frame this almost in green all the way around. And I think that works quite well. It's making the best of a bad situation. At the end of the day, it wasn't the shot I'd planned on coming out today and getting. The one I wanted was the boats, but it's just about, you know, getting out there and carrying on taking photos, because you just, you know, you never know what you're going to get. I didn't think the light was going to play ball today, so I'm quite happy it has. I'm going to take this shot. It's on half a second, because that's what I think I like. As the wall comes over the top of the rocks, half a second shot speed, and to achieve that I've had to go f13, ISO 100, and I'm on a 24mm focal length. So I will pop that image up on the screen, and then we're going to head off to the last part of this location down in Burrator reservoir, where there's another little fall that I can possibly get a couple of images from. final location. Beautiful waterfall going all the way down. I'm just gonna jump in front of Paul here, taking photos. So a nice little cascade with this overflow, I don't know if it's an overflow pipe, whatever that is, an outlet. Just gonna grab a couple of images here. So what I'm thinking, nice wide, coming up through, and then a nice crop, nice and tight, just isolating probably this bottom half of the waterfall. Yeah, well, get that, nice slow shutter speed, see what happens. Let's talk through the shot quickly. So compositionally, I've got the water coming in from the right, going all the way up through the image, and then what I've deliberately done is, you see the outlet here, I've deliberately cut that in a little bit off the top because I don't like it. It looks a little bit messy and I'm not a fan of it. So I've cut it off at the top, and that's going to be my composition. Now the reason I'm over here is because if you come over here, as you're over this side, you'll see that these trees sort of overhang the composition a little bit. So I'm just coming over just to give that little bit of separation of this tree here, and I've come into this portrait orientation. I've got this bank here on the left hand side, this bank on the right hand side, to kind of balance that out a little bit, with this going right up through the middle. So the final settings for this, we're looking at, I put an intervalometer on, so we're looking at f8 at ISO 100 on bulb mode, and I've got intervalometer, a 45 second exposure to get this nicely exposed with a 10 stop ND on. Final composition, and we have come nice and close. Whoa, I nearly come even closer. So we've come nice and close here. So we're just cutting off the top of this, where this rock is. Just bring you over. So we're going to cut just here, cut this off, bring it down here, and then I think it's about here somewhere around there, so I can show you on the back of the screen here. Get this info off. So that's my composition, if you can see it. Just eliminating all these distractions, all the trees, all these branches coming out, just trying to eliminate as much of that as possible, and just really concentrating on that water as it comes down, but bringing it down so centrally from the very top here, and then where it splits off almost centrally, so it comes off one side and the other side of the frame, so very close to the edge of the frame on both sides, as much as I can at least anyway, to try and balance that out. And yeah, I think it's going to be a nice image. Final settings are, as I stated before, f8, 73mm, ISO 100 on a 45-second timer. And again, I will pop that image up on the screen when it's finished exposing. Do you know what? I go on about how I like the 1/5 of a second, but I don't know, I think that looks nice. I might be going on the longer exposure on this one. I do like that. So both images up on the screen now. Let me know what you think in the comments. Just leaves me to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.